Hello and welcome to USA. My name is Justin. I'm the owner of Team 53 and I partner with Coach Dave Academy and Impel Motorsports to bring you this week's Learn to Drive video for super late models at USA as part of iRacing's 2025 Season 3 Week 6 official series. If you guys can, make sure you like and subscribe. It does a ton to help my channel. I am very much a small time racer here in Wisconsin. I have a late model that's parked in my garage so that my daughter Sydney can race her go-kart this summer. If you guys are looking or if you've got a business that you'd like to have on a race car, I do have sponsorships available. Trying to get my late model back out on track. Also trying to help support her go-kart program a little bit more. So whatever you guys can do, happy to help out. Send me a DM. You can find me Facebook page, in our Discord, however, on our website. Links are in the description all below. So let's head out here to USA. This is one of the oldest tracks on iRacing. It is no longer alive here in real life, but it's still a ton of fun. The long straightaways, hard braking on entry of both corners really make this fun. And then it's a track where you can get a little bit of wheel spin on the back end of it and really kind of, free yourself up, and guys can make mistakes. So you can make some passes that way. So let's head out here for qualifying. Like we do every time, we're going to tire heat, gas brake, swerve, left, right. Quick time here to talk about my friends here at Impel Motorsports. They've got Moza and Next Level Sim Rigs. Head over to their website, check out what they have. They're great people. We've sold them out of Moza stuff here the last 3 months running, I believe. So make sure you head over there if you need anything for your sim racing stuff. So as we come here to the start finish line here, you're going to notice we are nice and tight up against this the wall here. So I usually tell you guys about maybe a square, square and a half here at the start finish line away. From the cockpit, when you look at it, you're going to see those dash lines are going to be just to the left of the hood. So really right there, make sure you guys are looking with your own FOVs too to see kind of how close you need to be. The biggest thing is when you're in the far chase camera, just getting, within one and a half, maybe two squares. Two squares might be a little bit too far, but you can also see this light seam here that runs down and almost touches this right side hood pin. So you just want to have that a little bit above that dash line. So there's a little hood pin there, and you can see that. As we go down the front stretch, you're just kind of going straight for days, thinking about life and your life choices. And then you'll see this stoplight kind of staring at you as you go into the corner. And that's going to be what you're going to use for everything. So as we get to this last set of dash lines here before the corner, that's where you're going to start to turn in. So you can see it right here. Um, we'll start to turn in here, lift and brake. And then as you pass that stoplight there, you're going to get to about the third dash line. And this is the dash line that you really want to cross over here. And then we bring it into turn one. And this is a little bit wider approach than what I normally take here into one. But it worked out really, really well. So I park my right side tires here on those dash lines, let the car drift up a little bit in the center, give it some wheel, and then I just start giving it a really good drive off. And the car naturally just pushes itself down the track here. Um, right here about mid corner, throttle up. So about the time that the pit road exit is evening back out here with the track. There's also the Auto Shopper billboard up here in the upper right part of the track here where you'll start to throttle up. And then it's just a good solid hard drive off the corner. Nice and tight here up against the backstretch, just like down the front stretch. You can see some pavement between me and the white dash line. A lot of times I'll hop in lower split races and I'll see you guys like bobbing and weaving everywhere down the straightaway, and that's really not a ton of what you see here. A little bob and weave, but it all stays above this line. I'm not coming down. We're keeping it nice and tight here. Then we come here to this later part of the backstretch and the wall breaks out here. And this wall pop out is really kind of my visual cue that I need to get ready for turn three. So as this wall pops out, we're going to come around here and we're going to brake and lift as we go through it. Carry that brake into the corner. Like I said, it's a pretty significant braking zone for this track, and it allows for a lot of passing. Now, unlike 1 and 2 where I pitched it high, 3 and 4, I get it down to the bottom, and I get in this light gray area, and there's just a ton of grip. So you noticed how exit of 1 and 2, I got down into that light gray. We drove off. Now we're going to get low for 3 and 4, let that paint wrap me around the track, and this little grip strip here at the bottom, and then it's just a nice hard drive off the corner. 19.7s is what we're finding here. So like I said, just a nice little grip strip paint here. Michael Holly Chevrolet Lakeland is about the billboard that we see when I start to throttle up. It's just a little throttle and then I carry it. Really the point where I'm really thinking about the throttle is as we get here to about midpoint of this corner, right about here. So from the cockpit view, it looks like I'm getting really close to this pit entrance line, and that's where I'm really starting to throttle the car up to drive it off nice and smooth. So let's head back. We'll do a lap inside the car presented by my friends at Overdrive Racing Oils and Lubricants. They are a independent AMSOIL dealer. Anytime you use the link in the description below, we get paid here on the channel. So that's definitely something that you want to do. Make sure you guys are doing that if you do your own oil changes. If you have a race car, if you need any car wash, anything like that, AMSOIL has those for you as well. So head over to our friends at Overdrive Racing Oils and Lubricants. Link is in the description below, and enjoy a lap inside the car. And there you are. There's your one lap. Race trim wise, you can kind of see here this lap, these 2 laps I caught the backstretch wall, so it's definitely going to slow you down if you guys are touching the wall. But in race trim, the biggest thing to know is with our Team 53 setup, I am using a 3rd gear setup this week for USA. So it's definitely going to be something that's going to be helpful. What are some benefits of a 3rd gear setup? So in the super late model going or the late model stock, when you have a 4th gear setup, you're going to notice if you look in Motec at your wheel spin rates, you're going to see a lot more wheel spin. And where that's beneficial is going to be when you have a little bit of a tighter setup and you want it to stay a little bit build freer. What you can do is go to the 4th gear setup and use that wheel spin to really heat up the tires and get that car to rotate center exit. Basically think about when you're on throttle. When you have, with this, particularly with the super late model or with the late model stock, where you don't want it to be as quite as free on exit, you want to have a little bit better drive off. What a lot of us builders have found is that going to a 3rd gear or in some cases a 2nd gear setup when gear ratios allow, allows you to really get up off the corner better. 2nd gear setups are difficult for race situations just because of restarts. You don't quite get as much pickup on the restart, but certainly for qualifying, 2nd gear setups work. For race trim, 3rd gear is usually about as far as I'll push it. But what we found is that there's a lot less torque and a lot less wheel spin when using a 3rd gear setup. So if you need a setup to stay a little bit more stable, a 3rd gear setup is definitely the route to go. And that's where we're at this week at USA for us. So I get asked too a lot, like, how do I know what kind of setup I want to use? And the big thing is just kind of experience. Experiment with things. Go in test rooms and test out what a 3rd gear setup looks like to you, what a 4th gear setup feels like to you, and see which one you like. That's really the easiest way to do it, and that's really kind of how we've kind of found some of these things too, is by testing them. But you'll notice here in terms of race trim, first couple laps are going to be a little bit slower as you heat up the tires. I always tell people first couple laps with super late model and iRacing is just about not spinning out. Basically, if you don't spin out, you're good. And you just got to get through those first couple laps of the tires being fresh. As the car starts to heat up, you're going to get better traction, you're going to get better drive. So at that point, that's when you attack a little bit harder. And you're seeing too, I mean, I'm driving it in pretty hard here, a little bit harder than what I was showing in qualifying, driving nice and hard up off the corners, but the line remains the same. The line is pretty much the same as qualifying, maybe a little bit lower entry for these cars just to kind of protect bottom and keep people from being able to pass you down there. But for the most part, it's the exact same line. Passing zones for here, entry of 1, entry to 3 is where they happen most often, but they're brought about by center exit of the previous corner. So a center exit 2 will set you up to pass entry of 3. Center exit of 4 will set you up to pass entry of 1 and 2. So you really have to work on that. I don't believe USA is a track really where you want to try and drive it harder into the corner to try and get up to someone. I've always found it better to give up a little bit on entry to gain a ton on exit here, and it's worked well for me. But yeah, if you guys try out our setup, let us know how you did. Join us in the Team 53 Discord. We always love having new faces there. Don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe on the channel if you've made it this far. It really does do a ton to help the video, helps the channel, and it helps us when we're looking and trying to find sponsors by being able to show them that we have, 1,000 views a week or whatever it might be. So best of luck this week, and we will see you guys in the next video.